Elon has once again posted something on X that has made the entire Tesla retail community and actually Wall Street analysts lose their marbles. He posted saying this: "Working on the Tesla Master Plan 4. It will be epic." So we're going to dive into that. We're going to talk about what some predictions are as to what will be within this Tesla Master Plan 4. But before we get into that, let me just give you some background and some context in case you're new to Tesla or you just don't really know what the master plans are. Put simply, a Tesla master plan is a strategic document created by Tesla, outlining their long-term goals, visions, and steps necessary to get to where they want to get to. These plans are authored by Elon Musk, and you can kind of think of them as his vision board for his business. So with that said, so far, there have been 3 of them. There's been Master Plan 1, Master Plan 2, Master Plan 3, and now we've just had the announcement for Master Plan 4. The first one was released back in 2006. If you were a Tesla investor back in 2010 when Tesla went public, do let me know in the comments below. And you should honestly read this letter. It's literally like a personal letter written by Elon to you, and it's really, really interesting to actually see in the position we are now what has actually happened for Tesla that was initially laid out. So Master Plan 1 was called the Secret Tesla Motors Master Plan, just between you and me. And like I said, August the 2nd, 2006. So I do recommend you definitely read this whole letter. It's very interesting. But for the sake of time, let's just go to the bottom here. And what we can see, so in short, the master plan is as follows. Number 1, build a sports car. Do remember that this is in 2006. This is what they set out to do. Number 2, use that money to build an affordable car. Number 3, use that money to build an even more affordable car. Number 4, while doing the above, also provide zero emission electric power generation options. Don't tell anyone. Tesla since then has obviously become a massive, massive company. So unfortunately, the don't tell anyone, it didn't really work out. But let's just think about this for a second. Build a sports car. Okay, they've done that and we'll probably see another one in the future. Number 2, use that money to build an affordable car. They've done that as well. Use that money to build an even more affordable car. They have done that, but they're also still doing that if you think about it, because they're still using the money that they've generated to now reinvest and build the mass affordable vehicle that we should be seeing maybe unveiled on the 8th of the 8th. What that will look like, the exact specs, the exact details, the exact costings are not really known at the moment. But yeah, I do think that's going to happen. And number 4 as well has been achieved and is still being achieved. And the whole business plan at Tesla early on was to initially make a car that would sell, that would bring in money, and then reinvest that money, use that money to keep building more affordable models that the mass public would then want and could afford, so that EV sales went up and you could kind of over time replace internal combustion engine vehicles. And I would say Tesla have done extremely well. In my opinion, Tesla are, this isn't even an opinion, I don't think. I think this is fact. Tesla are the company that have made electric vehicles cool, affordable, reliable, and good. If you don't agree with that, do let me know in the comments below. But there is one other thing that I do want to point out in this letter. So what I want to read to you is these first couple of sentences. As you know, the initial product of Tesla Motors is a high-performance electric sports car called the Tesla Roadster. Might be seeing another version of this soon. However, some readers may not be aware of the fact that our long-term plan is to build a wide range of models, including affordable, priced family cars. Okay, so this is interesting. They want to build a range of models of affordably priced family cars. I guess you can look into this in depth or you can just take it at face value. But it's interesting because if you think about their lineup right now, I would say that they have actually done that. They have built a range of models that are moderately to, affordable price for most people, not everyone, of course. And, they're quite good for families, most of them. However, there is something missing that was pointed out on X by Whole Catalog, Whole blog that you should be following if you haven't already. Great Tesla information. And he also posts videos of him trying out FSD on his channel. So check that out as well. But it's interesting because he said, "Hey, Elon Musk, you're encouraging everyone to have a lot of kids," this whole population crisis that Elon talks a lot about, but Tesla doesn't have a lot of options for big families. Model X has 6 or 7 seats, but that's higher end / expensive and still not as a large family with 3 or 4 kids needs. My cousin is having a third kid, and had to trade their Model Y up for a bigger car. They were disappointed that they couldn't find another Tesla to suit their needs. Perhaps a Tesla van or a cyber SUV that extends the Cybertruck platform with a third row of seating instead of a bed could round out the product lineup nicely. And I just thought this is such an interesting idea because it is what the Tesla range is missing. And also, in the Gene Munster predictions for the robotaxi event, he actually is predicting that one of the 3 vehicles that we will see unveiled will be a Tesla van of sorts that can seat between 8 and 10 people. Someone else also went back to this post and said, "Hey Elon, this is a real issue. I'm expecting my second child and can't imagine having a third in my Model Y. 3 car seats, diaper bags, toys, towels, strollers, plus I have a dog I like to bring along. We need a bigger vehicle. I'm stuck with 2 kids because I won't buy a non-Tesla." That's a pretty big statement. This person's not having more kids because she doesn't want to trade her Tesla for a different vehicle, a bigger option. But it does seem to be the thing that is missing in the lineup. So with this said, and with Elon's knowledge about the population crisis and how he is encouraging people to have more children, he should be offering a bigger vehicle, in my opinion. And I think he probably will. And this is kind of a gap in the market, and it will also open them up to new potential customers, people that have large families that otherwise wouldn't even be able to consider a Tesla vehicle. And especially if they're able to make that vehicle at least affordable. So then we move on to Tesla's master plan number 2, which was released in July 2016. So it came 10 years after number 1. Again, you can read this entire letter, but let's just scroll down to the bottom and see the summary. So in short, the second master plan is as follows. Create stunning solar roofs with seamlessly integrated battery storage. Expand the EV product line to address all major segments, kind of what we've just spoken about there. Develop a self-driving capability that is 10 times safer than manual via massive fleet learning. Enable your car to make money for you when you are not using it. This is so interesting. In 2016, they were already thinking about the future. And I imagine, with quite a lot of certainty, that back then in 2016, anyone that wasn't seeing the vision would have read this and thought, self-driving capability that is safer. Stop dreaming. Stop dreaming, that's ridiculous. Enable your car to make money for you. Oh, God's sake, that's ridiculous. Go and get a job. Like, it didn't seem real. It didn't seem like this was actually possible. Fast forward to 2024, which, fair enough, it has been quite a long time since then. But I would say that they have pretty much achieved these, if not are achieving these now. And this kind of makes me think, okay, well, if they had crazy dreams back then that seemed really like they would never achieve them, they seemed impossible, should we maybe be paying a little bit more attention to what they're thinking is going to happen next? And what they want to achieve next, even if it seems kind of absolutely unfathomable to most of us, yeah, maybe we should. And, we'll have to wait and see what is in the Tesla Master Plan 4, but we'll talk about that in just a second. And then came Master Plan 3, which came out in 2023. So remember that, 2006, 2016, quite a long time period between those two. Then 2016 to 2023, again, a reasonable time period. And now we're already having another one that should be coming out soon, or at least Elon is now working on it. The time between them seems to be getting shorter as we go on. Make of that what you will. But here is the Master Plan 3. And what you'll notice is this is actually a 41-page document. The other two that came prior to this were just a simple letter. Quite simple, quite short, quite simple, relatively easy to read. This is an absolutely ginormous document. So this one had a bit of a facelift. It's way more put together and there is a lot more in it. But again, I'm not going to read all this just because it is so long. What I would say about this is it's focused on a sustainable global energy economy. And they're really focusing on sustainable electricity generation and storage in this one. So a little bit different to the ones before. But again, if you think about what Tesla are trying to achieve, there are certain milestones that they need to reach to do that. There are certain things that they need to achieve. And this does make sense. So what do we expect for Master Plan 4? And do leave your predictions and your thoughts on this in the comments below, because it will be quite interesting to come back to this video once it's out and actually see what actually took place in the master plan and how many of you were actually correct. Well, firstly, they are getting more and more frequent. And like Elon said, they are not just writing a new chapter this time round, they're writing an entire new book. So I do think we're going to see a massive jump from what has taken place before. A massive jump in terms of difficulty and also a massive jump in terms of the impact on society. So I think Master Plan 4 as an overarching theme, will focus on artificial intelligence. Of course, it's the buzzword, it has to. It will focus on this idea of autonomy and robotics. It makes the most sense. We know what's coming for Tesla next. They want to have a robotaxi fleet, autonomy. They want to have Optimus and robotics. And they have this theme across the board of artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence in a real world scenario. It seems pretty obvious and it seems like the natural progression. I think we'll hear predictions about how much transformation we are going to see in different industries once the robotaxi and Optimus bots gets up and running. I think we'll also hear about how many humanoid bots could be in the future, what the ratio is between humans and robots, and then maybe we'll also have some insights as to the scaling and volume production of Optimus and the business plans behind these. I think we may also get some insights into how Tesla are planning to license FSD to other automotive companies at scale across the industry to actually drive autonomy forward. Because obviously Tesla can do this alone and they can try and take majority market share and wipe out other companies. But from studying Tesla, what we see time and time again is they are one of these companies that are willing to help other companies to push forward their mission. They don't really take a selfish approach. We've seen it with the North American charging standard. We've seen it with the supercharging network, which obviously feeds into that. We've seen it with them keeping all of their patents open and so on and so forth. I've read a lot of other predictions from people about this master plan for over on X, but it seems like what Tesla are now trying to do is actually move towards a transition in society whereby people are gaining convenience and time abundance, and where the labour market will completely change and transform from what we know it to be today. And other things that may be in there is, of course, more about their energy business and also maybe more information about this whole Muskonomy, as people are calling it. The idea about all of his different companies actually working together in some way. And we're already seeing this, his companies do interconnect, they do share technology, they do share resources, they do share ideas. And between these companies, we could actually see them disrupt and dominate many different areas of our life. But like I said, do let me know what your predictions are for this master plan in the comments below. And talking about the next era of Tesla, we know that Optimus is going to play a huge part in that. And we've been hearing Elon's predictions about this for a very long time. However, it's not just Elon that is saying this. Have a listen here as to what the CEO of Nvidia is saying about humanoid robots.
Humanoid robotics will be as common as cars are today. You got to imagine what a car looks like 100 years ago on the street. What a strange instrument going down the street by itself without a horse in front of it. And so I think 100 years from now, it's very clear we'll have humanoid robots everywhere. It will likely be the largest volume mechanical system the world makes.
Won't be another 100 years ahead, right? Won't be that long.
The beautiful thing about vision is you start from the future and then you work your way back. It's a lot easier than starting from the present and work your way forward. Because of course, the future is easier to predict. Next week is very hard to predict. Next year is very hard to predict. But long term is incredibly easy to predict. And so I think working our way back is easy. Now the question is, if it's clear, so mundane, so commonplace in 100 years, when would it become quite commonplace now? Well, the world needs a lot more manufacturing capability. The number of manufacturers in the world is quite low. Labor force is quite short. And as a result, we're going to continue to see inflation. There are many things that a robot can make that no humans can make or safely make. And so there are things that only robots should build. And so I think it's very clear that we need to have robotics technology. The challenge, of course, is the technology itself is incredibly hard. A robot that understands the physical world, that understands the laws of physics, that when it sets this down on a table, it won't go through it, that it could set it down and leave it. It has to understand all of these common sense things that children somehow learned over the years. And so we have to teach these things to AIs.
I see.
And of course, the common sense, the ability to understand us, all of that technology is evolving very, very quickly. And I think that over the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to see quite significant breakthroughs.
So he is saying there that humanoid robots will become as common as cars are today in the future, and there will be significant breakthroughs in robotics over the next few years. And then Elon posted this. They will be 10 times more common than cars. So if you think about how many cars there are now, and he's predicting that there will be 10 times more robots, more humanoid robots around than there are cars today, That all feeds into this big valuation that we're putting on Tesla, that people are putting on Tesla, as to how crazy the numbers can get if there really are going to be that many humanoid robots in the future. And if Tesla even takes a 10, 20, 30% market share of that, let alone if they take, 80%, 90%, that gets absolutely mad. And I've put here as well, there are many companies popping up who are looking into humanoid robots. Number one, that's good because it shows that those companies are also seeing the future and are also seeing the demand and they want a piece of that. But then I've said, but which companies are ready for the volume production and can train them effectively? ... Tesla. We've spoken about this. We speak about this in most videos. That is where Tesla is so different. Their ability to scale and their ability to train them as well. It is a very, very exciting time to be a Tesla investor right now. There are many things coming out all of the time to dive into and research, which is so exciting. But do let me know what you think about this in the comments below. If you want to watch these episodes ad-free, get exclusive and extended content and a bunch of other perks, become an insider of the Inner Circle Vault. Link in the description.